Okay, number 4 looks a lot worse than it actually is. So it's kind of like grouping symbols. When you do order of operations, you have grouping symbols. You start inside and you work your way out. Okay, so we're going to be doing each one of these pieces one at a time, and then at the end we'll evaluate the last one. So we have a fourth root, a big, giant fourth root, and with a lot of terms inside. So the first term we have is the cube root of 64, and then we have plus, and then we have in parentheses negative fifth root of negative 243, and then close parentheses, and then we have plus the fifth root of 243. Okay? So you may not be familiar with all these roots. So again, we can go to the power table. So I'm going to look at cube roots. Is there anything times itself 3 times equal to 64? I'm going to look, is there anything times itself 5 times equal to 243? Now again, normally when I see a negative under a radical or square root symbol, then I say I can't work that out. But when you have an odd number on the outside, it is possible for that to work out. It's only not possible if it's even. So if it's a regular square root, or if it's a 4, 6, 8, something like that, you couldn't work it out. So if I pull this power table back up, can I zoom in a little bit more? No, that's not what I want to do. Yeah, they're going to be different numbers, but they should be the same type. But we'll see. Hold on just a minute. That opened up another window. So let me look at this power table. So I want to see anything to the third that equals 64. Okay, 4. So that tells me the cube root of 64 is going to be 4 because of the third power, 3 times. I also want to look at the 5s. So to the 5th power was 243, and that would be 3. 3 to the 5th power, 243. Okay, so I'm going to be using those 2 terms to evaluate this big monstrosity of a radical. Okay, so under this fourth root, okay, the cube root of 64 we just evaluated to be 4, and then we have plus the 5th root of 243 was 3. Because it's negative, it would be negative 3. Only works under odd. Notice we have a negative on the outside. So altogether we're going to have a negative and then a negative 3. So that's going to end up turning positive. Negative times a negative positive. And then the 5th root of 243 again is just 3, and we're adding. So, end of the day, we have 4 plus 3 plus 3. The fourth root of 4 plus 3 plus 3, we get the fourth root of 10. And I don't know that you can multiply anything times itself 4 times and get 10. If we do 1 times itself 4 times, it's 1. If we do 2 times itself 4 times, 2 times 2 is 4. Again, 2 is 8, and then 2 is 16. It's bigger. There's no whole number. So we're going to leave it like this, fourth root of 10. Be careful that you don't just type in 10. You have to put that fourth root. And this would still be a real number, okay, that we can't evaluate by hand, but calculator can do it. And we go to keypad, and then if you pick the square root symbol, let me try that again. Wrong one. Try the square root symbol. Okay, it pops up. You have to go in front and type that 4 there, okay, because it was a fourth root, and then you type 10 on the inside. If you don't put that 4 out there, it's going to count it wrong, okay, so be careful to remember that.